Hello, welcome to Fire Friday. This week on Fire Friday, things are going to change a little bit. I'm still going to do the project that I talked about a week or so ago of the skinny blowtorch. I'm still going to go through that and get it cleaned up and try and get it working. But I need to address this week, a particular YouTuber has asked on several occasions through some past Fire Friday comments about the Caswels tank sealing system that I use and have mentioned in several videos that I use on and have used on my lanterns. They've asked several times about demonstrating my process and mixing it up and using it. So I keep forgetting about it, and I ended up getting sick through January, and Fire Fridays weren't getting done for a couple weeks, and then I missed last week. So I want to go ahead and address that now and get that out there to them. I hope they catch it, and it gives them what they need to know. So let me, I'm going to change the camera angle and zoom in down here on the table of my setup, and I'll be talking about what we're going to do and how I mix it and some of the prep work that I do and things like that. So let me go ahead and get that switched around, and So we have a big nasty crusty lantern here. This tank actually isn't too bad, but if I was going to do something with this, I would probably rinse it a few times with like some acetone or some lacquer thinner or mineral spirits, or something like that. I don't know, something to maybe get out any fuel residue that might be in there, as well as any fine particulate. Dump it in there, slosh him around, dump him out. Do it however many times is necessary till you think it's clean-ish. And then for any rust, barnacles, or anything that's going to flake loose, you want to throw in some screws. I don't really have a good selection here, but you want some nice sharp edges and whatnot. Drywall screws work really well. They're really sharp points and whatnot. And then maybe some like nuts or some little bolts, something to clang around and bang around in there, and give it some weight. And you want to make sure they're short enough that they go in and they don't get tangled up trying to get out of your little hole there. So let me, I've already dumped the acetone in there and rinsed it out. This is, like I say, it's been sitting outside, so there's really not much in there but some cobwebs. So let me go ahead and we'll throw them a little. Okay, so we've got them in there, and I'm just gonna shake it around, and then we'll take and get your little pieces out, and then the garbage that comes out with it. Okay, so I had 6 screws and 6 nuts. That way I have to keep track of them. So I got a little bit of residue here, some of the acetone still coming out. So then when you feel you've gotten all the rust out that you can get out of there, go ahead and give it another rinse. I'm not going to put much in there, and just shake them around. Now this one, I don't have a burner on there, and I've just got a cork in it, so normally you would put your thumb over that and just give them a good little shake. Okay, dump him out. All right, so I'm pretty content with all the debris that I got out of there. There really isn't too much that was in there. Again, like I say, this thing is not too bad a shape on the inside. So let me, I'm gonna go ahead and take, because it is still wet in there, I wanna make sure that stuff's out of there because whatever the mix of this is, it recommends being thinned with lacquer or I think it was xylene or something like that. So I don't know what the acetone will do to it, so I wanna make sure I get all the acetone evaporated. So let me blow that guy out real quick and I'll get the camera started back up after I do that. Well, that was unpleasant. So pretty confident anything that was in there has come out all over my garage. So push this stuff aside. And then what you would want to do is, if you have like a large hole, and I've repaired them where they had a hole that you could stick your little finger in or something like that. Really all you need for that is just a little bit of painter's tape or duct tape or something to seal it off, strictly just to hold the sealer inside so it doesn't run out. What I would typically do is I would put a piece of tape over the little orifice there just to keep anything from coming out. This has the cork in it. I'm content with that. And then, where was my hole? The hole wasn't too bad. This stuff is pretty thick. So I'm not worried about it coming out. But what I'm gonna do is tape it off anyhow. Okay. So, for all intents and purposes, we're ready. So this is the gas tank sealer kit. I think on their website they have a fount sealer. It's a kit for doing small tanks like this. This is just a gas tank sealer. So you have part A and part B. I have a little mixing bowl and I use a spoon. That's how I measure my quantities because it doesn't take a whole lot. And then of course you have your directions. And it's really simple. It's basically 2 parts of part A to 1 part of part B. So the way I mix it, my volumes, I will do 2 teaspoonfuls of part A and 1 teaspoonful of part B. Mix it up real well. I may do a little bit more, but that's basically just, that gives you the gist of how this works. So let me go ahead and get this stuff opened up and we'll get to mixing. Okay, so here we go. Part A is about the consistency of syrup. Part B is probably about the consistency of, I don't know, maybe like vegetable oil. What I have found is that even in warmer temperatures, this stuff still mixes up pretty thick, and it's hard to keep it coated. You do have to worry the directions. It's pretty specific and gives you a lot of parameters. Too cold, it extends the cure time and it makes it real heavy and it makes it hard to get coated. Too warm, it hastens the cure time and it makes it too runny, and with it being too runny, it tends to slide down the walls and makes it hard to get a good coating. So you're trying to find that sweet spot there. The last couple ones I did mix with a little bit of lacquer thinner to thin it out some, and it really helped me get it coated. However, I did notice it wanting to slide off the sides of the tank, so I had to keep it moving till it started to get, I noticed it getting sticky and kind of moving really slow, and then I felt comfortable and let it sit. All you need is a thin coating in there anyhow. You're not putting it on like roof tar. So here we go. Let me get this guy dipped out here. So it was 2 parts of part A. That's part A. Let's do the 2 parts. Oh boy, this stuff is thick. I got me a little popsicle stick to mix. Okay. All right. On to part B. I would suggest if you do this method, you use a different spoon. I do not have a different spoon out here in the garage, so I'm going to wipe this guy off really, really well and hopefully not get any cross-contamination. Luckily, we're only getting one of part B. I'm going to guess that part B is probably the hardener. So here's part B. All right. So here. Be careful putting the lids back on these. They're very, very thin, and I'm kind of heavy-handed, and I damn near crushed the crap out of the can putting the lid back on it, so you gotta be careful. That's not secure for now, it's good enough. One thing you want to do, and I forgot to do, is protect your threads where your fuel cap is. I usually make a little funnel out of the tape. So before I get this mixed, let me just go ahead and do that right now, so I can get this stuff poured in here. Really all you need is just something like that to fit down inside there. That's pretty good, and that makes a really nice little catch that you can get that stuff dumped in there. So let me get the mix in here before. It's still pretty chilly out here in the garage. I think it got up to about 60 or so today. So it says to mix it real thoroughly, not to spend too much time on mixing it, because the more you mix it, of course, the better it gets mixed, but you're also, as you're mixing it, you're losing your work time. So, since this is all in vain anyhow, I'm gonna say we've got her pretty good. Scraping the sides, paddling it down. Okay, get another towel ready in case I spill. There we go. Here's the side. I got a little bit on my threads there when I pulled that out. I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of there. Okay, looking good. And then we just keep your light on, a flashlight or whatever you need, so you can shine it in there and look around and see what it's doing. Like say if it's a little bit thinner, I would like to have put some thinner in there and got it just a little bit more liquefied so it would spread better, but it's not doing too bad. Let me get a little flashlight so I can see. Yeah, it's really cold. It's really moving stiff. Let me mix this stuff around. That way, I don't have to worry about camera view and wasting camera time here. Okay, so it's pretty well coated all over the bottom. I can shine the light in there, and you can tell because it has a real shiny, glassy look wherever the epoxy is laying, and then you can see real flat rust or the tin floor, whatever's in there. You can tell where it's not coated. The sides of it and everything, you just kind of have to guess and look in there and look for a little curtain of flow and kind of guesstimate that it's on the side, and just keep rotating it around. And a lot of times what I'll do is once the whole floor is coated, I'll ball up a paper towel like this and get it in there so it doesn't run out on me, and it protects the threads from my fuel cap. And then I just, based on about how I think it's moving around, I'll just rotate it and just give it time to coat and do its thing, and just keep rotating. Now right now it's like I say, it's cool enough out that the stuff is viscous and it's thick, and it's also enough time has lapsed that it's really starting to harden up. So this is kind of in vain. I'm really just doing this for demonstration purposes. But this is the method that I use when I've done all my other tanks. There's really no need to do the top of the tank because your liquid level with your fuel isn't, you really don't want it any higher than here. So that's pretty much that. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and cut off. I'm gonna clean my mess up, and we'll come back in 24 hours and see how this is. Now I have had this, depending on the humidity and whatnot, it's just like paint. I've had where I've let it sit overnight, and you can stick your finger in there or get a little instrument and you can feel it has like a little bit of tack to it, and you can push and leave an imprint. It doesn't move, but it's not completely cured yet. It'll get to the consistency of like really hard plastic. You'll hear it, it'll have a nice clicking sound to it, and you'll know it's cured. But if you can go in and touch and kind of leave a little fingernail mark or whatever you put in and leave a little impression, you want to leave it alone. And like I say, I've had them sit for up to 24 hours and still be that way. So we'll let this go, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see where we're at with it. And we'll put it back together, and I'll fill it up, and we'll see if it leaks. Okay, so we got our mess all cleaned up. It is the following evening. Take off the tape. We'll shine this light down here and try and get it so you can see what it looks like in there. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah. I just can't get with the light and the angle and everything. It has like a shiny look to it. Looks like, like glass. It has this is basically a clear epoxy. So, and it just got a little bit of a spot where I guess it weeped out of the little hole, the little pinhole that was in the side of it. So that's the tape kind of keeps it contained. So there you have it. That's my process with my Caswels. Just got a little bit long. I appreciate you hanging out. And so if you did hang out this long, I want to let you know that, well, let me turn the camera around. So I appreciate you sticking around this long, but I just wanted to announce that this will be the last Fire Friday. The Fire Fridays have been kind of overlapping a little bit too much with the Tool Tuesday, and I feel like most times I'm doing 2 Tool Tuesdays, and right now I'm just too busy. I'm not saying that I won't maybe revisit it again. I think that maybe I kind of drifted a little bit away from what I intended Fire Friday to be. I really intended it to be a nice little short, like a 2-minute video of, here's a lantern, this is it, let me light it, happy Fire Friday. I kind of drifted away from that and kind of started going in other directions, and I'm okay with that. So, but I think for now, I'm just gonna stick with the Tool Tuesdays, and maybe if every now and then, if I want to take and light something up or do an extra video, that's probably what we'll do. But we're still going to do the blowtorch from a couple weeks ago, and try and get it taken apart and cleaned up and see if I can get it lit. And that'll just be part of Tool Tuesday. So again, I know this video was long. I appreciate you hanging out and watching, and we'll see you on the next one.